I'd like to thank you for joining me today. My name is Rev Dr Barry King, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about fear today. It's a powerful thing, and it affects us in so many ways. I hope you find today's podcast helpful. Thank you. I wish that I could share the feeling of being connected to spirit, connected to divine mind. The feeling of being aware that we're connected to something so amazing, so unknowable, that divine mind, divine presence fills us. It guides us, supports us. It makes me sad to know that there are so many who are afraid of divine mind, are afraid that if they don't do the right things, they'll be punished. We are here in life to grow. We are here in life to make choices, to become. Free will is really what that's all about. If we don't choose things, then what's the point? If someone else determines what our choices are, what's the value in that? A choice needs to be made from within. It needs to be genuine, affirming. We need to do the things that we feel are right, that we feel are meaningful, purposeful. There are far too many people who would tell us what we should do and shouldn't do. Control us through fear. Control us through threats of damnation, eternal hellfire. I've been called many bad things over the years. I've been called a fraud, I've been called a charlatan, I've been called a venomous tongue demon, and not because I am those things, but because people have been taught to be afraid. People cannot understand that there is something out there that we can connect to that fills us, empowers us, that brings us soul gifts, soul awareness, for we already have the gifts. I don't hate or despise those people who call me those things. I feel sad for them, for they don't know the simple truth. And that simple truth is that God, divine mind, divine presence fills us all, and that we have opportunity to connect to it. And that fear and judgment and hatefulness is not part of the spiritual path. Those qualities are part of humanness. It's limitation that they represent. We can rise above that limitation. We can become more than that. We don't need to judge people. We don't need to fix people who are different. But we do need to communicate. We do need to listen. We do need to learn. We do need to love. Those are the things that we can value, that we can count on to move us forward in our lives. Selfishness and entitlement are qualities that are far too prevalent in the world we live in today. And why? Because people are afraid. They're afraid of the absence of things. They're afraid of not having things. They don't realize that they have all that they need to be joyful, happy, free, comfortable. We live in a society that thankfully allows us to rise above fear, to rise above the need for simple survival, and we can become more. So what do we do when we're faced with fear and not trusting? How do we deal with this? The first place we deal with it is within ourselves. We become someone who rejects fear and who chooses to be trustworthy. We become someone who celebrates a purposeful life, celebrates diversity. There is no need to be afraid of things we don't understand. The challenge is to learn and to grow and to understand. It is only by experiencing diversity, it is only by experiencing differences that we become enriched, that we become more. It is not that there are things to fear. It is that we are afraid of things we don't know, that we don't understand. Now, that's not to say that we shouldn't be aware of things that we can be fearful of. That doesn't mean we should walk in front of moving cars or eat things that we know aren't good for us or those kinds of things. Those things are dealt with through awareness. It is being afraid of things we don't know that haven't happened yet, that may never happen, and making our judgments on what could be and not on what is. What we don't understand is that if we live in fear of things that could happen, then we are living the very thing we are afraid of. For fear controls you. Do not create a world of limitation when you live in a world of glorious free will. If you allow loving intention to guide you, if you allow purposeful affirmation to guide you, you will be a beacon of truth, of light in the world. There have been a number of studies done over the years that look at how our intention, how our thoughts affect the world that we live in. And what these studies have found is that when groups of people meditate on love and truth, that it can affect the physical world around them. We don't live in a physical world. We live in the world of our thoughts. The world around us is an expression of our thoughts. Celebrate the beauty. Don't live in the fear. It sounds so simple. It's not, I know. But it's the path. The path we must follow is one of positive action, one of affirmation, not doing things because we're afraid. Do things because they're right. And what is right? Right is not grounded in fear. Right is not grounded in need or neediness. Right is grounded in working for our greater good and the greater good of those around us. If we work for our greater good at the expense of those around us, then we have need to fear, for we are the problem. It is simple. A spiritual life is not complicated. Being loving is not difficult. But we can't allow fear or a need to control us. Anyway, I thank you for allowing me to share with you today. And hug someone you love. Thank you.